the repair shop today. Will leads a team effort to refurbish a multi-purpose antique chair.
You pull that up and then it goes back down, but...
Victorian transformers.
It is Victorian transformers.
And Richard's concerned that a telescope with a dodgy past could have an uncertain future.
Hope it's not damaged, hope it's not cracked. Because if it is, there are no replacements.
First into the repair shop is Morag Croll from Somerset. She has a 19th century heirloom with the classiest of pedigrees and hopes Brenton West
Hello.
can preserve it for posterity.
What have we got here then?
This stick belonged to King George V.
King George V?
Yes.
Really?
Very, very long time ago.
Are you royalty then? OK. All right.
It's been in the family for years, and it's got a little secret inside.
Ooh. What's this for then? I know.
That's for his whiskey.
No way.
Yes.
That is really cool. So they would fill this up with whiskey.
Uh-huh.
And do they drink out of that?
No, 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 no. There's another secret. There used to be a glass in there.
Okay.
So if there was a lady, you might want to offer her a glass.
That's nice.
So the glass would sit in there?
Very small glass.
Yeah.
That's a very small glass.
Yeah.
Amazing, isn't
I
it?
love it.
Yeah.
I do.
Amazing.
How did you get this then?
My great-grandfather was Thomas Rennie. He was a master baker and used to work for King George V up in Scotland.
OK.
And so when they used to come up for their holes and go off into the hills and everything, he would do all the posh cakes that they liked in those days.
Yeah.
And when he retired, the King and Queen Mary gave him gifts, and this was one of them.
Oh.
And I'm the custodian.
So your great-grandfather must have built quite a relationship with the royals then?
He and King George V became quite friendly.
Yeah.
And so did the whole family. My great-aunt Annie, who brought my father up, she was the eldest of all my great-grandparents' children, and she used to tell me the stories of when they played with the King and Queen's children in the grounds.
You had a good relationship with your auntie?
Absolutely amazing. I idolised her, and it broke my heart when we lost her.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she was such a giggle.
Yeah.
And she was a real character.
So what's wrong with the stick and what would you like us to do to it?
Sadly, with it being so very old, it comes in several parts, and this part is the most dangerous part because it's really sharp.
Yeah, watch
and
out.
yeah, it will slice you, no problem.
OK.
So
that would normally screw into this bit here.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And of course that would protect the whiskey vial, and then obviously there would have been the lid for the
cork or whatever went in.
Yeah.
That just worries me so much, that piece of glass.
How old is this? This is
150 years old.
and it's still going strong.
Yeah.
So if we're able to repair it and get it back to working order, what are you going to do with it?
I would love to use it myself.
Would you?
Yeah. It means an awful lot to me, and I'm just thinking of how many hands this has passed through, and its history, and hopefully one day it will go on to my son, and the story will keep going.
Oh, bless. Well, listen, thank you for bringing it in.
Thank you very
it's a
much.
pleasure.
That's lovely. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The good thing about this one is I get to test it.
I'm ecstatic because I really want to get the stick mended, keep the memory alive of the whole Rennie family.
That's a nice story, isn't it?
It is.
I do like this.
So good, isn't it? It is so good.
So what are you going to do?
Well, we've got the obvious missing cork.
Yeah.
This bit of copper has, I don't know if someone maybe bent the stick or whether it's worn out, but that bit of copper's
Yeah, it's proper
really sharp.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to look at repairing that so it can screw back onto there. And finally, Morag said there was a glass missing out of there.
You only good at making glass?
Well, I'm going to make a silver one for it because it's royal and that's what I do.
You're going to make a silver
A
one?
little silver one to go in there.
That's nice.
Yeah. Also, I need some whiskey
You need some whiskey?
to put in that.
I'll tell you what, you've got to fix it first and then you get some whiskey.
But it's going to have to be a big bottle.
You've got to fix it first, then you get some whiskey.
Okay.
Is that
All
fair?
right, okay.
Right, let's get it over to your bench.
I've got Morag's tippling stick here, and this cane has to have a good joint here, because if this gets moved like that, it can, or will, it not can, it will break this really, really thin glass file inside, and I would have thought that might be irreplaceable. This thread here is a pressed copper thread and has a very sharp edge, and that has been damaged. So I'm hoping that if I cut this nasty bit of copper off here, that this thread might go far enough onto here to lock. So, moment of truth. It's screwed up, nice and tight on there. I'm happy with that.
Outside the barn, wood restoration expert Will Kirk is all set for his next assignment.
Hello there.
Hello. I've got some...
Christine Day has brought a Victorian heirloom
My word.
that's helped raise generations of her family.
Right. So, what do we have here?
We've got a Victorian high chair which actually changes into different heights. So if we lift this lever here,
So I pull that up.
pull that up,
Oof.
and that will drop right down, and it becomes a rocking chair.
Isn't that cool?
Isn't it brilliant?
That's great.
So ingenious.
So how did this come to be in your possession?
I inherited it from my grandmother. I know it was my father's high chair in 1924, but I don't know its exact age.
So it's been in the family for a long time.
A long time, several generations. So it really is a family piece.
Why now? Why have you brought it into me?
I've now got 3 granddaughters who are 4, 2 and 5 months, and they didn't know my dad. He died before they were born. It just seems the ideal moment to make that link back through the generations to my dad.
So it'd be nice to see one of your grandchildren in this.
It would be lovely to see them. I have a 2-year-old granddaughter who would think this rocking chair was wonderful.
When was this last used? Because I think something's missing.
I
back
think
here.
something's missing.
There's a huge hole in the middle there, so...
Yes. I inherited it in this state. It had been in my grand's attic for a while.
Okay.
So my dad would have been the last one to use it in the late 20s.
Gosh.
So I've no idea what it would have looked like.
What would you like me to do to this?
I would really love there to be a seat. And if you could fashion some sort of back on it, that would be just lovely. The spring here is looking fairly ropey. And if you were able to make the mechanism a little less cranky, that would be good.
Okay. I will do my very best.
I'm really grateful.
Really nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. It's so sad to see the high chair broken. I've had it for so long and haven't known how to get started with getting it repaired. So I'm really thrilled. My dad loved children. He was always soft as anything with my kids. He'd be just delighted to see his great-grandchildren in his chair.
I'm just having a first look at Chris's high chair. I can already see there's going to be a bit of collaborative effort here to get this looking the way that it should do again. I know that I need to replace this top rail here. You can't have a baby sitting on there at the moment because it will fall out the back. Once I've done that, I can get this over to Suzie. She can look at the leather work that needs to be replaced, and then hopefully over to Dom, and he can sort out the metal work. I found some pictures of a very similar high chair, and this is the pattern that I'm going to use from the top of the chair. It looks like the crest rail that's missing was quite intricate, probably the most intricate part of the entire piece. So I'm quite nervous about having to replace it. It's the first time I've made something like this. It's can be really tricky to cut and to shape, but I'm up for the challenge.
On the other side of the barn, silversmith Brenton's working on the tippling stick with the royal pedigree. Having sorted out its defective screw fixture, he can move on to some bespoke designing.
This is a mandrel and it's used for forming rings. So I'm going to use it to make a tapered drinking cup. I'm going to put this in the handle where the cup would go. I'm going to draw a line around the mandrel, and I know that's as wide as the top of the cup can be. I then need to wrap some paper around this. I can cut this, and that is the shape of the piece of silver that I need. So now I can close this up and solder them together. Right, that's good. So I just need to let that cool down now, then I can hammer it round, ready to put the base on.
While the silver cools, Brenton enlists Will to lend his restoration expertise to the wooden components.
I've got a tippling stick.
A what?
Tippling stick.
A tippling stick.
So this carries
Right.
a little bottle inside it with whiskey in it.
Now you're talking my language.
But I've taken the bottle out, so
Right, okay, you're not talking my language.
the wood's a bit beaten up and there's some sort of staining going on here.
Oh, yeah.
Could you please make it look lovely again?
I will be more than happy to.
Okay. All right then, thanks.
Cheers, matey.
Brenton's next task is to add a base to his miniature silver drinking cup before giving it its finishing touches.
Right, so I'm going to polish my little tumbler now on a cotton mop that spins very fast, that buffs that surface of the metal.
So what I'm going to do is just give this a really light rub with soft steel wool. And that's just going to take off any dirt on the surface. I'm not rubbing too hard because I don't want to risk removing detail. Now I've taken off that surface dirt, I'm going to apply some of this lovely furniture wax.
Polish has done what it's meant to do. I'm really happy with that, and time for a test, I think. Yep, go and put some whiskey in it.
I buffed that to a really nice sheen now. I think that's just ready to go back to Brenton. Hey, mate.
Uh-huh. That's good
All
time.
done.
Lovely. That's really nice, because that was all rough before. It's beautiful. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Cheers. So now I need to see if this cup that I've made fits in the stick. Just drop that in there. Make sure the lid goes on. Wow. That's amazing. I'm really pleased. That's just what I wanted it to be like. So that fits in there really, really well. I've left it so that it can't fall into the stick. It's sticking out so Morag can get access to it. And looks like it's been in there forever. Perfect.
Next into the repair shop is 12-year-old William, his granny Christine, and her brother Keith. They have a nearly 200-year-old heirloom that needs optics expert Richard Biggs to cast his eye over.
Hello, how are we doing? I'm Jay.
Nice to meet you, I'm William.
William.
Hello, Jay. I'm Christine.
Christine.
Hello, Jay. Keith.
So what have we got in the box then?
We have my great-great-great-grandfather's telescope. He was a smuggler in Essex in the 1860s, we think.
So it was a smuggler?
Yeah.
He was an old sea captain.
Right, yeah.
No one, I don't think, would confess to being a smuggler or a pirate. So he had a legitimate business as well as this sideline.
Can I have a look at it? Yeah. Thank you, William. So this has been passed down through the male line of the family?
Through the male line of the family.
OK.
From my father's grandfather, which is 6 generations.
6 generations.
Do you know how old this is?
If I go back generation by generation and assume that everybody received it at the age of about 30, that would make it about 1850. So it all seems to add up to that era.
Yeah.
What's wrong with it then?
You can't see through it, no, it's just blurry.
Has it ever worked when you've had it?
Since I received it, it's never been working.
Have you seen it working?
I'm sure I have, but as a young kid, it was too heavy and difficult for me to hold it to my eye clearly.
Yeah.
And I think it might have been me that broke it.
There is a dent there, isn't there?
Yes, there is, just there. And that's probably when it hit my head.
Who hit your head with it then?
My brother. Bless him.
Bless him. All right. You're given a busted present. All right. Are you interested in seeing ships and stuff like that?
Yeah.
What are you going to use this for?
I want to go back to where my great-great-great-grandfather was.
Okay.
And see what he saw through the telescope when he was looking out to sea. I'd love to be able to do what my great-great-great-grandfather did.
Take up smuggling.
Yes.
So what would you like Richard to do to it?
I'd love him to fix the lens so I can see through it and to fix the end, which is not sliding.
Thank you for bringing it in.
Thank you.
All right?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It will be lovely to be able to hold it in the way that our forefathers have held it in the past.
And look through it.
Look through it. Yeah, you're going to enjoy that, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Standing on the marshes, looking out to sea.
It's going to be amazing to do what he did.
Yeah.
So this is quite cool, though, isn't it? Smuggler's telescope.
Yeah.
So what have we got to do then?
So, the
Fix
thing
that
that William pointed out, that front slide solder, that's gone.
Right.
So that's got to be stripped off.
Okay.
And then that little spring secured to that. I'm going to have to ask Steve to help me on that. The next thing is there's a slight rattle in there,
Okay.
which means there's a lens loose, which is why it won't focus. So that's got to be reset.
Let's get it over to your bench, and if there's anything you need, especially to do with that
Yeah.
welding at the bottom there,
Yeah.
just let me know.
So first I've got to get it apart to see what that lens is doing. Hope it's not damaged, hope it's not cracked. Because if it is, there are no replacements. So this is the lens that is rattling. It's not damaged. Oh, that's good. It means that once it's in place, it will focus. But the metal that holds it has gone. That should be in there, and the metal should then fold over and hold it in place. I shall have to work out a way of securing it so it doesn't rattle. So that's what I've got to do.
Wood expert Will has fashioned a curved piece of oak to replace the missing backrest of the Victorian high chair. The challenge ahead is some intricate carving.
I've drawn out the template. And that's what it's going to look like when it's all cut out. All the woodwork finished. Let's see if it fits. And there we are, looks pretty good to me. One thing that does stand out now is that this is incredibly light and everything else is a lot darker. So I need to stain this to match. Well, that's all the woodwork, polishing and staining done. I'm really pleased with the results there. It's a really good match.
With his woodwork duty fulfilled, Will can now pass the baton to metal expert Dom Chinea.
Hey, mate. What on earth have you got there?
Oh, look at that. This is a high chair
Yeah.
that turns into a rocking chair.
Nice.
Pretty
That's
cool, isn't
really
it?
cool. Yeah.
There's a mechanism at the back that should work a lot better than it currently does.
Oh, okay.
It is that you pull that up, these pins pop out of there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You see what I mean? There you go. And then that goes into a high chair position. You put it again, and then it goes back down. But
Victorian transformers.
it is Victorian transformers. But it's really rusty, and it's not working as well as it should do.
That's no problem. I can clean all that up.
Suzie is going to re-leather the seat and the back.
So this is leather. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So whilst I've got it in pieces, I'll give that to Suzie.
That'd be amazing. Top man.
Leave it with us.
Thanks, Dom.
mate. Yeah, thanks, mate. It's a brilliant little thing. Unfortunately, it needs a little bit of help. The mechanism, the main problem is the spring's broken. So I'm going to take this out of her way and then get stuck into the mechanism. That's the first bit off, which is good. Hopefully the rest comes apart that easily. That's the main rod out. There we go. There's my spring. Just a crumbled mess.
The four wheels are the last things to come off. Then it's over to the third specialist on board this project, leather expert Suzie Fletcher.
What do you have planned? I'm intrigued to see what you're going to do.
So I've just got to make a padded seat. I'm going to cover it with leather.
Yeah.
Going to do the same on the back here. Sounds
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Good luck.
Thanks so much.
See you soon.
Before Suzie can make the leather seat pads, she must build the underlying structure.
Started marking out where the seat and the back's going to be on this chair. I'm ready to put some webbing on, and this is going to give the support that we need. A lot of my saddle making skills are very similar to an upholsterer's. I have had many conversations with Jay and other upholsterers, and it's surprising how similar a lot of the techniques are. Okay. Okay, so that's the foam. Now what I need to do is start gluing it all together. I'm just going to pop this in the area there. I'm just going to flip it over. And then I'm just going to work around the edges.
Now I've got all of the steel components stripped down, all the rust removed. Just going to put a quick coat of primer, then on with a nice satin black paint.
Just putting the finishing touches to the decorative binding here. I've glued it on so that it covers all the nails and the tacks that are holding the leather and the cushion in place. And I think it looks really nice. What I need to do now is get this over to Dom, and he can finish putting the metalwork on it. Hey, Dom.
Hey, how's it going?
Got a present for you. Thank you very much.
Look at that. I love this edging. Oh, well done. I'm impressed.
Thanks, Dom.
Thanks, Suzie. Well done.
With Suzie's newly upholstered sections back alongside Dom's revived metalwork, it's time for the big rebuild.
I've got all my components for it laid out here, greased up, ready to go. So hopefully, if this all should go back together with the replacement spring, and we'll see if it works. Need to be really careful now. I've got my painted parts and all Will's lovely woodwork. I don't want to risk, I don't want to damage anything and scratch anything. So that's a bit fiddly. It's just it's a bit awkward getting in there. So I'm just trying to be as careful as I can, not to ruin everyone else's work. So that's there, that's there. That's the all-important spring now in place. Awesome. That's a real nice, definite sound there. And then if I pull this up, these should drop. Brilliant. Look at that. Fantastic. So that's it. I think that's the mechanism working. I'm very, very happy with that. Now I just need to attach the tray, and then I'll hand it back to Will. Hey, Will.
Hey, mate.
Present for you.
Oh, my gosh, look at that.
Here it is.
Susie's done a great job, hasn't she?
Very, very good. Yeah. Now, with the springs back in place.
Just like that.
It clips back in position. Yeah.
Lovely.
Done.
Fantastic job. Thanks, mate.
All right, no worries.
Cheers for your help.
At his bench, Richard is starting work on the nearly 200-year-old Smuggler's telescope.
So the first bit is to actually get the lenses out of this section, clean them, put them back together, and then a little bit later to put that loose lens back into place so that the whole thing has got a chance of focusing. So the lenses are in this aft section. There we go. So now using a little bit of methylated spirits, it's just a question of getting the years of accumulated grease and dust off. They're actually all looking in good condition. Yeah, that's looking good. It was always a little bit fingers crossed that when it opens up, it would actually be able to be cleaned. They've all come up perfectly. So the only one left now is this front lens, which is in two parts. The two parts are two different types of glass, so that the colour fringing is actually reduced a great deal. Colour fringing means that if you're looking at something bright against the sky, you get a yellow fringe one side and a slightly blue the other. Putting two lenses of different glass together reduces that significantly.
As well as dealing with the lenses, Richard needs to enlist the help of a skilled solderer to fix the protecting mechanism on the front of the telescope.
That is the front. It's like a lens cap, but it's a slide on the telescope.
Oh, right, okay, yes, I understand.
Cuts all the muck out.
Yeah, yeah.
That spring is supposed to add a little bit of tension so that it doesn't keep flopping around.
Right.
And it needs fixing on the plate.
Okay. What's that pin for?
That's so you can get your fingernail in it to draw the slide open. Open
right,
the
okay,
lens
yes,
so you
yes,
can
yes,
see through
yes,
the telescope.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll solder this on properly because that's a horrible rough old repair.
Yeah, that's got to come off.
Yeah. Okay, leave that with me and we'll see how we get on.
Thank you.
Okay.
Brenton has reached the final stage in repairing the tippling stick, creating a cork for the mini whiskey flask inside. Jay has a contribution to make too.
Are you going to pour that in?
Yeah, yeah.
Shall I hold it steady and you pour it in?
Okay.
Okay, don't spill it.
Not at all. Oh, wow.
Was it?
That's it?
Yep, lovely. Get the cork. Should we see if the cork works?
Have you not tested it? You must have tested.
Look at that.
Yeah, that does work.
Not leaking, is it?
No, that's cool. And have you made a little cup for the top?
I made a little cup that goes in the top.
I really do like that.
Do you?
You've surpassed yourself again. You always do this. You make something and then you just slide by it. But that is a work of art, mate. No, well done.
Thank you. And it fits in the top, more importantly.
Well, I expect nothing less.
OK.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
During one of his holidays in Scotland, King George V gave the tippling stick to master baker Thomas Rennie. Now Thomas's great-great-granddaughter Morag is at the repair shop to collect it.
I'm feeling extremely nervous but extremely proud that I'm hoping with the help of the repair shop that history will live on for a good few hundred years more.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Lovely to see you again.
Likewise.
Hello, Morag.
Hi,
All right.
Preston.
I like that smile. Are you excited?
Yes.
Yeah?
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. So what are you excited to see then?
I'm excited to see bringing history back to life of the Rennie family, and it just makes me feel like they're still alive. And yeah, and looking down on us.
Let's hope we've Hopefully we've done the Rennie family proud. Okay, there's no pressure.
I'm sure, yes.
Okay. Should we let her sit? Okay, go for it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, go on, I know you wanted it. Go for it.
Thank you. I didn't know whether I was allowed to or not.
Your stick.
Oh, wow. See? Oh, gosh, well done, you. You rascals! Oh, wow. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, gosh, doesn't that...
It smells good, doesn't it?
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Oh, smell that. May I?
What I recommend is open up the top of the stick.
Oh, I see. Well done, you. You clever... Oh,
He is clever, isn't he?
Oh, righty-ho.
There you go.
Righto.
We've got to be civilised, haven't we?
I well, most certainly have. To the Rennies, to Aunt Annie, and to the repair shop. Well done, everybody. It's lovely.
It's lovely.
Oh, that's
right?
good. That's lovely. I can't believe you got the cork as well. Well done, you. I can't believe it. It doesn't look
It's
like...
clever, isn't it?
Yeah. You really have got a gift. Thank you
There we
so
go.
much.
Thank you for
Thank
bringing
you.
it in. You take care now.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bless her. She was made up, wasn't she? No, it was very good. You've done a blinding job on that.
Look what I've got.
Look what I've got.
I'm just bursting with... I'm overwhelmed, really. And I'm thinking, my great-grandfather, my father, my uncles, my cousins, and my great-aunt Annie would just be over the moon to see that the Rennie name was being kept alive forever. Thank you.
At his bench, Steve is getting to work on one of the defective parts of the old Smuggler's telescope.
I've got this shutter device that someone's had a go at repairing, and they put a blob of solder on there, and obviously they've been very unsuccessful at it. So I'm going to clean off all of the soft solder, and I'm going to hard solder it on just at the very edge. I still need a bit of spring in it, and that stops the shutter from just being loose. This actually acts on another piece so that it slides nice and steady like that, and will stay in place once it's pulled out.
The first job is to clean the part thoroughly.
I have to be careful that I actually get every single bit off, otherwise the hard solder won't take at all. I'm just putting one piece there. Hopefully that one piece will be enough. It's melting there. Good. Right, I just need to let that cool down. I'll clean it all up and give it back to Richard. Fantastic.
And Richard's ready to tackle the reassembly of all the other components of the telescope.
Every lens has got to go back into its correct position in the right order. The loose lens, the one that was worrying me to start with because it came in rattling, that has now got to be put into its ring. The metal that used to hold it is missing, so I've got to use a little amount of epoxy glue just round the edge, very, very gently, so it doesn't come into the lens area, and everything should go back together and focus nicely. This last lens now has been secured as a nice clear ring so the glue's not encroached on the lens. That pops into that bit. Click and it's in. Nice and tight, don't want them coming undone. And there he goes. That's working, and that's working.
It's also been a team effort to restore a Victorian high chair cum rocking chair. Dom and Suzie have worked their respective crafts on it, and now the finishing touches are down to Will.
I'm at the part I like the best. I'm using some dark wax now to bring out the grain of the wood and give this high chair the protection that it needs. Once it's dried, I can buff it up and get it back to Chris.
With the chair restored, Christina's back to collect the heirloom her father used as a small boy, nearly 100 years ago.
Dad's chair was missing both its seat and its back, and the whole mechanism was jammed with rust. I'm hoping that the high chair will be at least usable as a rocking chair for my grandchildren, to make a link back to my father.
Hello.
Hello, Will.
Nice to have you back.
Lovely to see you again. And I'm so excited about this.
Are you?
Yeah. Just wondering what magic you've actually managed to do on it.
Well, shall we have a look?
Please. Okay. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, that really is good. Oh, so clean and shiny. That is gorgeous. Oh, and look at all this on the back. You've made such a wonderful job of that. I don't know what to say, Will. Just brilliant. Fantastic.
It's been a real team effort. Suzie did all the lovely leather work in the upholstery.
Gorgeous.
Dom looked at the metalwork on the back. So we can actually pop it back down.
Oh, look.
Nice and smooth.
So smooth. That is fabulous.
Then you put it again. Straight back up.
Fantastic. Oh, I can't wait to show my grandchildren.
So this is going to be used?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Absolutely. And it's such a link to my dad. I mean, for me, it's all about my dad because he was the last baby to sit in that.
Oh, yeah.
So that is a real link to the past. Thank you, Will.
I'm glad that it's going to stay in the family for
yeah.
years to come. Okay.
Thank you so much,
It's okay.
Will.
It's a pleasure.
I'm absolutely thrilled with what Will has done to the chair. He's brought it back to life, which, for me, in a way, brings my dad back to life. So, absolutely delighted. I think he'd be chuffed that something from his past had survived and was going down the generations. I wouldn't have believed it was possible, but it looks beautiful.
Inside the barn, Steve's finished soldering the slider on the telescope lens cap.
Right, there we go. All done.
Ooh, that looks nice.
So it's all working. The other thing I did, I just popped a screw in there instead of the pin because I thought you can't put it in once the pin's on.
Yeah, so I've got to undo the screw, slide that in, put the screw in.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
With Steve's modification a success.
Now this little thing has to go in there.
All that's left for Richard is to refit the sliding lens cap and check out the view.
All done and dusted. I can read the paint pots at the other end of the workshop. That's surprising for a 200-year-old instrument. Yeah, good one. That's done.
And just in time, as William, Christine and Keith are back to retrieve their historic family treasure.
I'm really excited to see the telescope. It will be wonderful if it's fixed.
This, hopefully, now will be a usable item for William to pursue the hobbies that his ancestors pursued all those years ago. Hello again,
Hello.
William. Hi, Christine.
Hello, Richard.
Hi, Keith.
Hello, Richard.
You looking forward to this?
Very much so, yes.
Yes.
Are we ready for this?
We are.
Oh, look at that.
Wow. It's shining.
It does, it's shiny.
The sliders work.
Oh, I do, yeah.
Look at this end.
Wow. All
Is that
polished and
the
working.
same piece?
Yeah.
It is.
Wow. It extends.
And again.
One more.
Oh,
And again.
And again.
there we go.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So the piece that went across...
It's underneath.
Is it? I see.
with a spring on it to give it the tension.
It looks new. It's incredible. It's cleaned up nicely too.
Yeah, not too much. Didn't want to make it
No,
look new.
it still looks
good.
how it should.
Yeah.
I can see through it, not too well because it's so incredibly close to the wall.
That's right. Yeah.
I can see the details of the wall through it. It does work.
It does.
Thank goodness.
To get the real use of it, we need to go outside so you can look all the way down to the ducks on the pond. Really see how it works. So
Brilliant.
let's go out and have a look.
Yeah.
Need to focus it a bit.
Yeah. Twist and push a bit if you like push. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, I can make out all the leaves all the way back there. And brick building.
Oh, right. So that's 100 metres away.
Yeah, it's going
And it would focus beyond that. In fact, it would focus on the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got that.
Yeah.
So you could actually see the moon with it.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, you'll see the craters. And
We'll have to do that. It's brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
To have a go?
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, yeah. No, the moon's not up there now.
No, I'm focusing on, I think it's Batman.
Nice meeting you, William. Have fun with that.
Thank you very much indeed.
Okay. Keith.
Thank you, Richard.
You're welcome.
All the best. Thanks for doing that for us.
Bye-bye, Richard.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
See you.
I'm so happy that we've got the telescope back. It was great looking through it, knowing that my great-great-great-grandfather looked through it. Knowing that it was the same thing that he did and how it's passed down through generations.
Safely. It's got here now to you.
Yes.
With
It's hard
Richard's
to
help.
comprehend, really,
Hopefully
isn't it?
another 170
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you look after it and pass it down.